Hello, welcome to Stretford Paddock. We're here for the debate today. We're going to be talking about Angel Gomes, whether he should stay or leave, with the recent reports that Chelsea are looking to finish and finalise the deal in the summer for the free transfer of Angel Gomes. I've got Adam Mckola and Alex Bagley with me to discuss whether it's time for him to go. Alex, how are you doing, mate?
I'm warm.
You look warm. What's happened?
I am warm. I've been for a run. I didn't time it very well. I have showered, but I'm still sweating. So it means it worked, but yeah, not good.
It worked. The run worked. And Adam,
you look
worked. Cool as a cucumber, mate.
I'm chilling. I don't do runs.
Do you not? Do you ever go? Do you ever go for a jog? Have you been doing much sort of quarantine?
I was going to the gym. I can't go to the gym now. That's probably the dirtiest place to be. But I've not really got anywhere to run, and I don't like running on the street because my knees and everything start hurting and my shins and shit like that. So yeah, I go for walks.
That video on Twitter the other day where people were protesting that the gym was closed and they're all doing squats and press-ups outside, and someone's like,
fucking idiots, mate.
You're literally just proving that you can do exercise anywhere. Like,
look, if you've got no choice and you have to go to work and you have to jump on a bus, and the people like that's I can't. I've got some sympathy for you. I've got some sympathy for you. But if you're like, oh my god, let's not get started. That's a whole different debate.
It is a whole different debate. We're going to talk about Angel Gomes. To start with, I'm both going to give you 30 seconds to make your claim. Alex, you think maybe it's time for Angel to move on. And Adam, you think United should do what they can to keep him, that he should stay. So as the guest of the channel, Adam, I'm going to let you go first and give you 30
amount of debates I've won on here. This is my channel now, isn't it?
No, you don't win like that. It's not a pink slips. You don't just get the channel if you win.
Sorry.
But you're going to go first, and you're going to explain why you think Angel Gomes should stay at Manchester United. Are you ready with your 30-second argument?
Let's go.
Off we go.
Right, Angel Gomes should be kept at Manchester United because of the fact that he's one of our most promising talents. He's come through the ranks, who developed in this far. Why would we now let him go and go off to somewhere like Chelsea and fulfill his potential there? It'd be absolutely daft. The youngest player to play for the club since Duncan Edwards. And I think it'd be a shame to throw away that talent over a contract dispute. Get it settled, get him in the team. If we have to send him out on loan, so be it, but make sure he's a part of United's long-term future.
Perfect time. That's the best time.
Even the alarm goes off every
30 seconds at all on the debate. So very good. If you can equal that, Alex, I'd be very impressed. Good arguments as well there. Alex, it's your turn. You've got 30 seconds to lay out your initial argument as to why you think it's time for Angel Gomes to leave United. Are you ready, Alex?
Ready as ever be. Let's go.
Off you go then.
Angel Gomes, no denying it, he's a fantastic player, but now is the time to move him on. He's had the opportunity to sign contracts and he's turned them down. You know, we've had this situation with people like Paul Pogba who ended up moving away. But you've looked at the players that Ollie wants to bring through. Brandon Williams, Mason Greenwood, here's your contract. Okay, done, signed, no problems whatsoever. They've been given the minutes, they've been given the time, and now they're in the first team. Angel Gomes has been given the contract, he's turned it down. I think it's time for him to move on.
Sensational timing on both of you there. Well done. Adam, I'll come to you first. Do you think that, obviously you want him to stay at United, but do you think that this unwillingness to sign, this sort of attitude over this whole contract situation, do you think that's maybe a bad sign going forward in terms of, the team that Ole is trying to cultivate here of good attitude players who want to be at the club?
No, I find it bizarre that Alex, my mate, you're my mate. But Alex, why would you put that in your argument when Tahith Chong was in the middle of a contract dispute and playing for Manchester United and not playing very well? Now, Tahith Chong's got massive potential, but coming through that team, that academy team, with Angel Gomes, I think it's clear who stands out more there. So to put that forward as an argument, I think is not fair because Tahith Chong was going through a contract dispute. There was talks of his agent speaking with Juventus and all this, that, and the other. So I believe if it's simply over a contract dispute, then maybe, that's not quite the case because other players have been in that position this season and got chances. So you look at to where else, what else is the reason for this? Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, has done a lot right this season. But you look at opportunity to play Angel Gomes. There's been a few times Angel's been injured this season, and we have to take that into account. If you're not available, you can't play. quite simply. And I think Ethan Laird had that issue as well. But when he has been available and we've had the likes of Andreas Pereira and Jesse Lingard underperforming, he hasn't given Angel the opportunity. And I think from the little glimpses that we've seen of him when he's coming in the Europa League games, he's shown signs, but he's never quite had enough time to actually show us what he's got. And people could say, oh, he's not done enough in training or whatever, or at the academy level. But it's quite clear that he's outgrown under 23 level. I think that's an issue with the Premier League under 23s in general. But also United then had to either send him out on loan or get him game time at United. And we can't say we didn't have the opportunity to do that. So then you can see why Angel Gomes would be thinking, why should I be signing a deal if I'm not going to be playing? He's looking at his friends like Jadon Sancho, Reece James, maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi, Mason Greenwood at United. These are all getting opportunities. He was coming through and has been coming through with those players and been highly regarded amongst those players as well. So for him now to not be pushing on and getting the game time, I think it's disappointing. And you can mention Pogba, and like Pogba was right to leave as well. Fergie was playing Raphael and all these guys in central midfield when Pogba should have been getting the play time. Now, there could have been issues again for that we don't know and we haven't seen. We don't know if anything's happened between Ollie and Angel behind closed doors. That's possible. But from what we see at face value, the fact that Angel hasn't got game time, I think that's a fair reason for him to feel undervalued. And United have historically done this. I remember with Wes Brown, we were haggling over a deal with him for ages. We always, with our academy players, treat them a little bit different, expect them to take maybe a little less money than anyone else. If we were signing Angel Gomes from another club, we signed Hannibal Mejbri for 10 million. Hannibal's a fantastic talent, probably, worth the money, and we've got him in now. But if we were maybe going to sign Angel Gomes from elsewhere, we'd probably be offering him more money and doing more things for him to stay. And so I just find it bizarre that we'd allow this guy to come through, be developed. He's shown massive potential. He's now at the club. I don't think it's over money. And I do think he has to fight for a spot, but I think we should be, making him a little bit more promises.
What do you reckon, Alex? Do you think that a lack of playing time is an understandable reason why Gomes would be sort of, eyeing up other?
I agree. Yeah, I agree on that point. And you do need to. He definitely has shown as much as to Heath Chong. But again, my worry is that we don't see what goes on in training, and there's always a reason behind this. There has been also a massive dip in his performances the under 23s this year. There's been glimpses of very good football that he's shown all the way through. But there's been a definite dip in his performances there and hasn't stood out as much as this season. And I think that maybe for as much as Heath Chong's hasn't had the performances, he's kept his performance levels at that level high. And I think that maybe that's the reason. Maybe it is just something in training. Maybe Ollie has seen a shift in whilst he's been going through these negotiations that he isn't putting the graft in as much as he was, and he's kind of using that as well. So again, we can't fully say that, but at the same time, there's got to be something behind why you play Heath Chong over Angel Gomes. You're not going to just do that because we can see there's definitely a talent gap between the two, and Angel Gomes is definitely a better player. So for me, there's got to be something else behind the scenes. So whilst yes, both have been debating over contracts, maybe there's something there in terms of the effort level that the lads are putting in, and from the rumours that have been coming out, he's been flirting with other clubs a bit more. He's been doing this. This hasn't just been this season. This has been over the past 2 or 3 years now that there's been links. He's been going out. If a
club's allowing it to get down to 6 weeks of your contract left, that's kind of saying something to you in the first place. I think it could be. It could go the way of Zeki Friars. Yeah, Zeki Friars thought he got bigger than his boots, and he thought, I'm going to go and do the thing and go to Tottenham Hotspur, and it didn't go well for him. I don't know where he is right now. But it could also go the way of Paul Pogba as well. There's not everyone's Paul Pogba or Zeki Friars. I think Angel Gomes, you just have to look. If we let him go to Chelsea, I have question marks over whether he'd play for them anyway. So the playing time thing there. But just imagine us letting him go to Chelsea. That should not be let. Like, if people talk about football heritage and Manchester United,
you should never let that player go to Chelsea. I think the Chelsea one is a definite.
We can't stop it though.
We can't stop it. No, I think that he should have been moved on before. If this was the case, if we're going to run this down to what it is, he should have been moved on, and that it should have been put an end to it. And this is. I think this is probably a problem with the board as much as it is a problem with getting game time and all this, where we do this a bit more often. Where we linger around on contracts and we don't make decisions. Ander Herrera was another one that when it got down to it, should have been sold the year before if he wasn't going to. If he should have said, "You're going to sign a contract, yes or no, or move on." Same with Angel Gomes. This should have been dealt with last summer. This shouldn't be left to go with now. So yes, there's a problem. There is a problem with game time, and he maybe should have been played more. But this should have been dealt with before with the board. And to be honest, now look, he's been offered very, very good contracts. Everyone, and I think that's widely reported that he's been offered a very good contract. And if he wanted to stay at Manchester United, it should have been signed and done by now. There should be. And for me, that leaving it to the last 6 weeks, yes, this is the board not doing the.
Well, we've lost Alex there, but I wanted to ask you anyway, Adam. Do you think that these rumours and stuff about his attitude, about maybe his willingness to sign something, and also if you add that to, we talk about Paul Pogba as though United have had dozens of players that come and go all the time that we shouldn't have let go, have turned into world-class players. How many players in the Premier League era have United let go that have then even become good enough to maybe play for United again later in their career? Paul Pogba's one I can think of. Michael Keane is the other one. Maybe PK, but that was a slightly different situation with him going to Barcelona. It's not very often that we let players leave and that it comes back to bite us, is it?
Yeah, but you have to take each case on its individual merits. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I think what we've seen from Angel is that he's ready for first team opportunities. Now you can't, if he's stagnating at under 23 level or not put you're not going to at under 23 level. I think that's partly a problem with that. But you need first team football. Now, if he's obviously people are going to be offering him money because you're available on a free almost. You only have to pay a nominal fee when it's a young player, like a compensation package or something like that. So they're going to be able to offer him money. And it's like with Ander Herrera, we let it get to a point now with Ander Herrera where as soon as PSG come in and say, "Yo, we'll give you a £10 million signing on fee," I don't know what if the numbers were that, and we'll give you 300 grand a week. He's thinking, it doesn't even make sense for me to now stay at Manchester United. So it's down to us as well. We shouldn't have let it get down to this point. It's now left out of our hands because I believe the offer's still on the table. He's not rejected it. It's not like he's come back and said, "I want more money." No. He wants promises over playing time. And that is a fair request from a player of his ability. Now, it may be a case that United are saying, "Oh, we're going to send you out on loan," and he don't want that. And if that's the case, then that's his decision and that's our opinion. And ultimately, you have to respect it because you know what? Is he going to be first choice next season? Probably not. Could he be second choice to Bruno Fernandes? Possibly, depending on who we sign. But, if he wants first team football, but he doesn't want to go out on loan and he wants to play for the team that he's at and Chelsea are saying, "We'll play you," then for good luck to him, do you know what I mean? But United should be doing as much as they can to keep him.
Don't you think though these rumours about his attitude and the suggestion that has come from relatively good sources in the past that he's maybe got people around him saying you can do better than this, maybe you're a bit too good for this, or you should be getting first team football at, we've seen Barcelona link these kinds of clubs. Do you think that kind of attitude is potentially a worry though, Adam?
Yes and no, because I ultimately believe I'm one of those people that think if you work hard in life, ultimately things will come your way. You get what you deserve. But that's not always the case as well. That's not always the case. And I think sometimes you have to go out there and get it. And maybe I think it's true. He shouldn't be playing at under 23 level. Maybe you could argue he shouldn't be playing for Manchester United's first team, but you could also argue when else was the perfect time to give this guy an opportunity? When have you had the perfect... Paul Pogba's been injured most of the season. Bruno Fernandes came in January. Andres Pereira's been trash. Jesse Lingard's been awful. When else was the perfect time? This was the... So if his people are now saying to him, "Well, you probably should move on if you want to get..." I totally agree with them. It's the same with Paul Pogba. If you're in the... At the time, he was in R23s. Now, whatever Fergie's reasoning for that was, he had an issue with Raiola, whatever. But if Paul Pogba's watching and he's seeing, "I'm excelling," I think during that season, he wasn't great at reserve level, but he was excelling. He won the Youth Cup and that. He was a standout, him and Ravel Morrison. And he's thinking, we've got no central midfielders. Surely I should be given my opportunity now. And he wasn't.
And he played Raphael and Phil Jones in there.
And he played Raphael, Phil Jones, Park Ji-sung. I know Park played there a lot, but Park Ji, and you're thinking, that's the point where people are going to say, Paul, with all due respect, it's probably best for you to move on. And it's kind of ruthless, but we want them to all be Manchester United's the be all and end all. And I'm pretty sure for Angel, he's a local lad. You know what I mean? He's got roots at the club, but ultimately you have to do what's best for your career. And he may feel that that's what's best for his career. It may not be proven to be right. United may be proven to be right. Like, I don't know. But if that's what he's feeling and we're making him feel like that, then surely something's wrong at the club. Not deeply, but in his instance.
Yeah. Now, we had this about Dean Henderson as well. I think we had this conversation about Dean Henderson where we said that I said, he could come back this summer and almost give the club an ultimatum saying, look, I want this. I want game time. I want to be in the squad or I'm going to go elsewhere. And you said he's not in the position to hold the club to ransom. How is Angel Gomes Dean Henderson has played 2 full seasons at a full club. He's done it in the Premier League. I think it's the same
I didn't say Dean Henderson's not in a position to hold clubs to ransom. What I said was he's not in a position. We're not in a position to bring Dean Henderson back to United because we've got David De Gea. Why would you bring Dean Henderson back to United and put him on the bench? We've got Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes right now. But for this whole season, so for example, let's say Dean Henderson was in our 23s, yeah, and then he was at United this season. David De Gea gets injured. Romero gets injured. And Solskjaer starts playing Lee Grant and not putting a goalkeeper on the bench. Dean Henderson would be well within his right to say, maybe I should just leave.
Would you say, the one thing I think Solskjaer's done well is chosen the times that he's brought through young players, Mason Greenwood and obviously Brandon Williams being the key to that. I think we've seen them in the Europa League. We did see Gomez. He has played 6 times this season. It's not like he hasn't played. It's not like he's been frozen out the squad. You're not playing no matter what. He's made 6 appearances, which admittedly isn't very many. But we've seen in those performances from Williams and Greenwood, we saw a reason why they should stay in the squad. Do you think maybe we didn't see a sort of a tangible,
what
definite
did we see
reason
from Andreas and Jesse to keep them in the squad in a team ahead of him?
But it's different, isn't it? Bringing through players from the youth is always going to be
I don't think
different
it is
seeding process.
And
you don't think
look,
so?
in defense of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he may see him and think he's a little bit raw at the moment. He's not ready. And in all fairness, then Angel should maybe look at someone like Jesse Lingard and think Jesse went out on loan, went to Leicester, went to Birmingham, went to Derby, went to Brighton, went to all these clubs, got better, grew up, matured a little bit physically, mentally, came back and was ready for the first team. Now, it may be just a case that United think that, Ollie thinks that, and he may be well within his reasons to do that. But from the outside looking in, at certain points in this season, I felt we could have given Angel Gomes a chance. Even just going through the season. And remember, I'm not criticising Ollie on a whole. We're talking about this instance with Angel Gomes. Because with every other player, I think he's been great with Mason Greenwood. I think he's been great with Brandon Williams. I think all the players in the squad, he's improved most of them. But with this, I think we've missed a little bit of a trick to maybe make him feel more wanted. Remember, all players are different. Not everyone's Dean Henderson. All right, fuck you, lot. I'm going to go away on loan and I'm going to come back one day and play 300, 400, 500 games for United. Not everyone's like that.
That's true. Alex, what do you think to that then? That he should have been played more this season and it's not his fault that he's been sort of pushed to one side?
Again, I understand. From the outside looking in, you're right. It looks like, well, he's treated everyone else bang on. He's got Brandon Williams bang on. He's got Mason Greenwood bang on, But my question is, why has this happened with Angel Gomes? And I don't think of it as I can't see it because, again, the talent-wise, you can't say that Pereira, Lingard are better. So there's something there. Is it the contract? Is it the work rate? Is it something on the training pitch that he's just not seeing? Is it physicality? Is it just literally the lad is not built enough for what we want out of that kind of player, out of that number 10 role? Do we want?
But if we're professing to want to build a football team, that's a very Brexit mentality that is too short. Like that's I'm not saying that's your
Do you know
opinion.
what? You're
I think
right.
that's an opinion that some
No, I'm not
people
saying that's
hold.
my opinion.
And I
That's
think if we hold that, we're missing a trick.
It is, but you know those opportunities that you've said he's gonna play. Those opportunities were against teams that weren't gonna, you know, he wasn't gonna get as much time on the ball. It wasn't a game that probably would have suited him. It's a game where you probably need someone a bit more combative. And whilst Jesse Lingard and Pereira haven't been good, you kind of know that's what you're going to get from them, and you kind of know that just because they've matured and have aged a bit more, that's what they're going to get. So the question, my question is with it all is, why has Angel Gomes been treated this way and not been given the time? Because I agree, there were opportunities. I thought he was going to get game time, but there's something happened, something has gone on. If it's a contract dispute, if it's training, then it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be sorted. And I think that probably, to be honest, this should have been last summer. This should have been contract signed or gone. And now we're down to 6 weeks. Look, I think that it's gone past the point now of I don't think whether if Ollie's set on getting rid of him or they're set on not keeping him, I just don't think that he's going to make his way back into that team. So I think we just need to make a decision. And I don't want to see him go to Chelsea. I don't think it would be right for him to go to Chelsea. I think if he's going to go, I think it would be better for United to get him to go abroad. Now, I know that's not our decision now, but I think that's the point it's come to now, where we kind of just need to say, look, you've got a contract, you've not signed it, so you need to go and do whatever. And we can't be pushing, we can't be changing for that. We've got so many other players that have shown the willingness to play now and have shown the willingness to come in, and they're the players that should be the priority, not the ones that haven't.
Very nice. Right, let's give you both 30 seconds as your final argument. Some very good arguments there. Adam, I'm going to let you go first again. Close it out with a 30-second argument blast telling us why you think United should keep hold of Angel Gomes. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go on then.
There was once a phrase called football heritage, and United's football heritage is keeping our best academy talents and developing their potential at the club and within the club, and we should be doing that with Angel Gomes. The fact that he feels that his development may be better suited or better placed elsewhere is ultimately a failure on behalf of the club. We should get him to sign the deal, get him to stay at Manchester United. If he needs to go out on loan, okay, whatever, but make sure he's kept at the club and develop him here.
Very nice. 30 seconds. And Alex, a final 30 seconds on why it is time for Angel to leave Manchester United. You ready?
Yep.
Off you go.
Again, there's no doubt in Adrian Gomez's quality. He's shown that throughout. But to be honest, right now, that if he's not signed the contract now, I don't think he ever will. I think that kind of we need to put our effort into keeping the other players, putting the effort into the other players that have shown the commitment to stay at Manchester United. Angel Gomes is obviously a great talent, but there's obviously something going on behind the scenes that's meaning that he's not getting the game time that he deserves. And I think that now maybe move him on and move elsewhere.
Look at that. 30 seconds.
He did say in that, though, the game time that he deserves.
Yes. Well, he maybe deserved more game time, but there's maybe a reason as to why he didn't get it. There's the suggestion there.
Saying he deserves it means he deserves it, though, right?
Well, his on-field performances would suggest that he deserves
Shut up, Joe.
As a package, he didn't deserve.
Shut up, Joe.
Adam, thanks for joining us. Where can people find you, Adam?
Subscribe at youtube.com/Adam Mckola. I had Joe on our latest Master Debaters as well, which was a good one.
It's very good. Go and check that out.
We had a good Master Debate session.
We did. All three of us together on webcam. But Adam's subscription link will be in the comments, so check him out. Alex, where can people find you?
On the golf course from this afternoon onwards.
Yeah, probably going for a run about 6 minutes before a video, I'd have thought.
Yeah, that might be it as well, yeah. So, there you go.
He was just sweating about debating me again.
I was, that's all it is. Nervous again.
Yeah, no run. He wasn't running. He was just we'll be back in the morning for the news, and tomorrow will be a podcast as well tomorrow afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us, lads. Let us know in the comments who you think won this debate, whether it's time for Angel Gomes to leave or whether we should make one last push to keep him at the club. Also, let us know what other debating topics you'd like to see us talk about. There's obviously loads of stuff going on at the moment. Football's coming back, loads of kinds of things. So if you've got any ideas, please do put them in the comments and we'll get to those when we can. Thank you very much for joining me once again, lads.
Bye.
It's been an absolute treat. It's been a treat. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Cheers, boys.